Hey everybody, Kenny here. This video I want to go over what I refer to as the forbidden build in Oninaki. If you're not familiar with that terminology, a forbidden build is usually what's considered by MMO communities and action RPG communities as the build that you don't talk about, because if you do, then the developers will patch it out of the game. But this is a game that released in 2019 and I'm fairly certain is not being supported at all, so there's no risk of that. Just an incredibly broken build that you are free to use without worrying about anyone just doing any nonsense to get it removed from the game. And it is a build centered around Gavod. And what makes this build so broken is that it is the only build that I'm aware of in the game where you're able to kill literally anything in this game without using any of these skills or even your basic attack. Instead, the entire build is based around just raising your shield. All you have to do, raise your shield and you win. So how does this work? Gear-wise, it doesn't really matter what weapon you're using as Gavod. What does matter is that the shade stones you have equipped give you any affinity limit breaking that you can get. Having reaction attack, that's good as well, because that makes it that any attack that you're dealt, if you're reflecting damage, and you will be with this build, then enemies will be taking damage just from hitting you. And you can focus on the reaction attack stuff to get some really high damage just from every time something hits you. But that's only part of the build that I put together here. The reason we want to go for the very high affinity is that Gavod has this skill called Hero's Welcome in his tree. And what that does is that when you raise your shield, you knock enemies back. However, it counts as an attack. But Gavod also has this skill called Reprisal, which makes it the more attacks you've taken since your last attack, the greater the power of your next attack. And Retaliation, which makes it you gain attack when you're attacked while your shield is raised. And then by getting Glint, which increases your movement speed while your shield is raised. And Ward, which means you can move or perform an attack to cancel delay after raising your shield, you become able to use Hero's Welcome very quickly. As long as you're holding a direction to move and you're just keep raising your shield, you're just constantly attacking over and over again. So I'll show you the loop on that in a minute, but first I'm going to go over the rest of the things that make this work. Having Stake takes advantage of the additional affinity we have to further increase our defense. Having Deliverance gives us a chance to negate incoming attacks. And having Anointed makes it that we gain affinity when we attack while our shield is raised. So to get the most out of this, the demons that we want to be pairing with Zav are Ragan in order to get Warden, which gives you a chance to recover HP when hit, as well as Snare, which reflects attacks taken, which this is what I'm referring to with always having a source of reflecting attacks. As long as Ragan's with you, you're always reflecting attacks. And having the skills with Gavod that make it that you reflect attacks while your shield is up make this a no-brainer to grab. As well as Ritual, which gives you a chance to get Healing Incense when an attack hits. Nizana for reverse in order to also gain a chance to gain HP when you attack. As well as being able to restore the manifest gauge when you defeat an enemy while manifested. And finally, Gavod for Fatality, which increases your critical power. And also Fantasy for restoring the manifest gauge when a critical hit occurs. And also further benefiting your defense by having your affinity over 150. And along with Gavod's ability to just naturally regenerate, we basically have a character that is unkillable. Here we are at a pretty late game area. The way we do this, just Hold the shield up. Like those kangaroo things, when I do the big smash, that just, you know, it breaks any defense that's going on. So don't worry about that. Here, go here. Just to keep on blocking. Because the longer we block for, the more we build up our damage bonus. So about now, we should be at the maximum potential for this. Now, here, this little bomb guy here. See, we are doing tremendous amounts of damage just from putting up our shield down. And if we were to manifest, now we deal silly damage. Of course, like, you know, with manifesting is always an issue because if you get stunned or paralyzed or anything, you're automatically knocked out of it. Which is why you're better off just always being in just your normal mode. But if you go into manifested mode, then you deal even more damage with this. Which, like this, like right now, like, you know, this is much less damage than what we would normally do with our full our full affinity. But, you know, but now we're at lower affinity at the moment because we let ourselves get knocked out of manifestation. But get attacked a little, get to 200. Normally, I wouldn't do this. I would just go to the first pillar and use the affinity beyond area to refresh. But I just want to show that you can still build up your affinity pretty quick even without doing that. And because one of Gavod's things is while his shield is up, he can't be... Well, like, as long as they're hitting him from the shield side, he can't actually be debuffed. So they can't stun him or anything if they're attacking him from the front. But keep in mind, this entirely has to do with using Gavod without attacking, using any skills at all. So if you were to use skills, then immediately you would lose all of your bonus. Right now, against this big guy here, if I was to shield bash, did 1400 with the crit, 800 with a non-crit. But if I were to attack even one enemy, so I just used my melee attack, and now let me kind of maneuver everybody out of the way so I can attack the big guy. See, now we do 421. Because we immediately lose all of our bonus the moment we do an actual attack. But if we store that up and we only use the shield, then we have that permanently. We do not have to worry about, healing, we don't have to worry about anything else, because as long as we have our full bonus on our shield, then we can just move and just wreck everything in our path. If you were to just press the button without moving, then you wouldn't be able to go as fast. There's a very long delay if you were trying to use that without moving. But the idea is just, you know, move in a direction and then just keep on pressing the shield button. And you'll just be completely destroying everything. Like this is on the highest difficulty, and you know, so enemies have much higher health in this mode. And I was able to destroy everything doing this. I was never worried about, you know, oh, am I like Am I gonna need... I actually, I don't think I've used a healing incense using this build. It's just, it is that effective. It doesn't matter how much damage you take, you will heal. And obviously, the more you overcap your affinity, the better your damage is going to be. So if I was to swap out my Gavod's, his affinity limit break plus with an affinity limit break plus, and that reaction attack plus with another Shadestone that also increases my affinity limit break. Like, let's say Biopenme, I think. Yeah, Biopenme. And Chopperite. Putting those two on the same piece along with a higher affinity limit break plus would make this damage even higher. Yeah, that is the most overpowered build in this game. Just being able to tank any attack, heal yourself to full without having to worry about taking damage, without having to worry about using healing items, without having to build around healing, like in terms of your itemization. So that's going to be it for this one. I really hope you want to try, because this is a lot of fun. Like, even though like it's such like a basic thing, because all you're doing is just pressing the shield button over and over again. Like, it is incredibly satisfying to completely break this game over your knee by just raising your shield. Anyways, if you like this video and you think that someone you know may get some value out of this, then appreciate sharing it with them. And also doing all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, Ve Victus, Virus and Amaris, and bye.